more on the comet landing. I'm joined by Ryan Faith. He is the Defense and National Security Editor at international news channel Vice News. Thanks so much for being here.
Hi.
How significant is this achievement? Does it rank up there with man landing on the moon?
I wouldn't go quite that far, but I think it's maybe like the first landing on Mars or the first landing on an asteroid. This is a really big accomplishment, and it's about 30 or 40 years of scientific investigations have sort of led up to this point.
So it's taken quite a long time, 10 years in the making. With the rise of space travel, private space travel and private space exploration, do you think we'll continue to see projects like this that take a lot of research, years to complete?
Absolutely. The private space travel stuff is basically fairly close to the Earth and is still sort of in its infancy. But for the really leading edge high technology stuff that goes beyond the moon, for instance, that's going to be an area for governments for quite a while yet.
So what do you think we'll see with Philae here in the coming days? We just heard from Jim's report that the feet, I guess you'd call them, didn't quite attach, and they're waiting to see if it goes around. What are the next steps? What should we look for?
Well, basically right now, ESA is sort of waiting to get more information back from the probe, and they're going through the telemetry very carefully to sort of get a sense of what happened. And some of the more recent interpretations think that it sort of turned a little bit and shifted, but it's right now just sort of very delicate management of the probe on the part of ESA.
And Jim mentioned some of the things that they hope to learn about this comet, and that could take another year, is that right?
Oh, absolutely. Well, they want to try to get a lander on the comet while it goes closest to the sun and puts out the most sort of gas and water vapor. But basically, this sort of will tell us a lot about what kinds of chemicals were present when the solar system formed, and basically tell us a lot, for instance, like whether or not the water we have on Earth originally came from comets.
How important is this information?
I think this is basically, for the kinds of things that there are out in the solar system, there's basically 4 or 5 classes of bodies out there, and this is one that we don't know very much about, and it gives us basically a glimpse of what the conditions were like when the solar system was first forming. I mean, long before there was even really an atmosphere on Earth.
It's interesting because we see different space agencies from different countries, their various accomplishments. Do you think with this that we could see competition maybe from other space agencies, other countries, or does everyone kind of have their own specific goals and their own projects that they want to work on?
It's a fantastic question. The space race, so to speak, internationally has gotten a lot more diverse than it was in the 60s. And now it seems like each country is sort of picking an area of specialty, or each space agency is. And that's not sort of a hard and fast rule, but for instance, the US is really leading on Mars. Japan's doing excellent work on asteroid exploration. Europe's really taking a lead on comets. And I think that there's still a lot more things out there for people to sort of stake their expertise on.
Do you know of any other projects currently taking place that we should keep our eyes out on?
For comets, this is actually sort of reaching the top of Mount Everest, so to speak. I mean, there is not really anything that's planned for further on because we don't know enough about comets to plan for what comes next. So this is, going back even to like Halley's Comet in the 80s. This has been sort of a building a succession of missions.
All right, Ryan Faith from Vice News, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you very much.
Exciting.